McKinney looking at 44. Looking at tops. Looking at tens. And looking up the table. Sean McKinney rises up to second spot in Group C, and a defeat for Simon Taston that could well be so costly. McKinney over the line, a 4-2 victor, decent performance as well. Average McKinney looking at 44. Looking at tops. Looking at tens. And looking up the table. Sean McKinney rises up to second spot in Group C, and a defeat for Simon Taston that could well be so costly. McKinney over the line, a 4-2 victor, decent performance as well. Average of 88.08, 4 out of 8 when it came to the finishing. He wins 4-2. Coming up next is Derek Coulson and Chris Hurds.
Too many genuine rivals, but Dennis Priestley being one of them, but they were best pals, so that doesn't meet your criteria.
Double 9 would meet the victory criteria, and Chris Hurds is up and running with a 4-0 victory against Derek Coulson, and it denies Derek the opportunity to move level on points with Sean McKinney in second spot, and it means the Irishman has had the perfect start to the day. He's beaten his rival on 6 points, Simon Taston. He's seen his other rival on 6 points, Derek Coulson, lose. And for Jarno Bottenberg, it's even better news for him, because if he can get the better of Kendrick Cordom, he would move 6 points clear of third position, with just 8 points left to play for. Them two go toe-to-toe next. At that age, he speaks very, very well. Not just about himself, but about darts in general in South Africa and Africa. Real credit to the ADG he's been all week.
Yep. 100. What a reply. Talking of dart shirt, I've had a new dart shirt designed by all the kids at the academy. Had an opportunity to design myself and Jamie Caven, because it's the Jamie Caven Darts Academy, and they're currently being made. Wow, 306.
He should have gone for the treble, and he could be in trouble, because Bottenberg comes back for tops to seal a 4-1 success. Double 10 is found, and Jarno Bottenberg moves 6 points clear of third spot in Group C. Finals night is within reach for the first time for the Dutch Open champion. But Kendrick Cordom, his debut looks set now to end in Group C disappointment. Bottenberg a 4-1 victory. A good quality game. Both players averaging in the mid-80s. That 120, a big moment there for Botty. And so that's the end of round one. Coming up after the break, it is Chris Hurds up against Sean McKinney. Success on the doubles. 1 from 12 in this match, whilst McKinney is 2 from 2. Cannot afford his opponent to get an opportunity. And he's going to get a go at double 5.
Ego Chip says, well, I'll have to wait until I see you playing it, because I don't use socials. I'll get them to put a
legs difference. He's in command of the situation. He is on 10 points, and Sean McKinney can begin to see Saturday night in his sights. He gets the better of Chris Hurds by 4 legs to 2. Back-to-back 4-2 wins for him to start the day's proceedings. This is how the game went from a statistical viewpoint. Chris Hurds missed 19 darts at a double in that game, and that is what cost him so dearly. And so Sean McKinney moves on to 10 points in the group. He has a temporary 4-point gap from third place, Jarno Bottenberg, where he's getting everything his own way at this present moment in time. If he beats Derek Coulson in Game 6, it could well be wrapped up if Kendrick Cordom gets a better of Simon Taston. Double 8. Oh, it's bounced in and it's bounced out. Sometimes when your luck's out, your luck's out. Oh, this would hurt. But Taston's not going to take out the 116. That would have severely hurt Cordom, who saw a dart to win the leg, come back out the board.
16.
Two 8s.
No score.
Still not converted, and Taston has a break opportunity. Triple 10 leaves double 16. Oh, that could be a killer blow. That could be a killer dart.
Football, a kick in snooker. Whose fault's that?
Taston for the match. Double 12. A 14 darter to wrap it up. And he moves on to 8 points in the group. He's only a couple off the qualification spots. Is Simon Tayson beginning to make his move towards Saturday night? An average just under 86. He gets the better of Kendrick Cordon by 4 legs to 1. Coming up after the break, Jarno Bottenberg is up against Derek Coulson.
.180s, same amount of 140s.
Game shot on a 6th leg.
He's found that
Coulson.
double 8 to send us all the way. A huge leg, a colossal leg for Coulson.
Final leg. It's
A
Derek
leg for
to throw
Bottenberg that if
first.
he wins, we'll
Game
see
on.
him within touching distance of Saturday night for the match. Decisions, decides to go 10 tops,
shot
and that
and the
is
match,
why
Jarno
Jarno Bottenberg is within touching distance now of Saturday night's final. One more win will confirm it, but 14 points should be enough for him. He gets the better of Derek Coulson for whom that defeat may well dent and end his hopes of qualification. Next up for us, Kendrick Cordon against Chris Herds in the first game from the 3rd round of fixtures.
Require 56.
In 3 matches today, tops is what he wants. And tops is what he
shot, and the
gets.
match,
It's a good
Chris
performance
Herds.
that from Chris Herds. Average is under 90. The doubling half decent, 4 out of 7. He gets the better of Derek Coulson. Sorry, of Kendrick Cordon by 4 legs to 1. I'm getting a bit confused there with what I was looking at on my screen. Because Derek Coulson's coming up next against Sean McKinney.
Derek.
It's just taking a little while longer than we expect him to get going. But it's great to
shot,
see
and the
once it's
match,
there, and Derek Coulson runs out a 4-0 winner against Sean McKinney. He's really turned up on day 2, but it may be a case of too little too late. But what he has done is brought himself back to within a couple of points of Sean McKinney in this group. And so things remain quite interesting. Coulson 4, McKinney 0. Next up, Bottenberg Tayson. So you're going to get another go in this leg?
Game
No, he's
shot on
not.
a 5th
Bottenberg
leg.
3-2
Jarno
up from 3-0
Bottenberg.
down.
Bag down,
require
went to pick it
58.
back up. Just ended up getting a spasm in my back, and that was on the way to travelling to playing a big
Game
tournament
shot, and
in the
match,
Netherlands.
Jarno Bottenberg.
Jarno Bottenberg rounds off a 4-2 win, and that means that Bossy is through to Saturday night's final. Jarno Bottenberg is there. It's signed, it's sealed, it's delivered for the Dutchman. It's his 2nd appearance, and for the first time, he is going to make it through to the Saturday night. He gets the better of Simon Tayson by 4 legs to 2 to stamp his ticket into Saturday night's finale. Coming up after the break, it's Sean McKinney against Kendrick Cordon today, but bounce outs have been a recurring theme this week for him. The bullseye for McKinney,
134.
and that would have been for history. You just knew he was going to go for the max.
Sean, you require 36.
Don't really blame him in that scenario.
Game shot
McKinney
on the
takes the double
first
18
leg.
anyway,
Sean
and he moves
McKinney.
one up
Sean, you require 60.
to cross the line and to win 4-1. Tops for Sean McKinney to put him on to 12 points. And
Great
to
shot.
put
And the
him
match,
one step
Sean McKinney.
closer towards qualification. It's not job done, but it's a massive step in the right direction for Sean McKinney. He beats Kendrick Cordon 4-1. He moves on to 12 points in the group, and he puts himself in a real privileged position in this Group C. That's how the game went statistically. McKinney a 4-1 winner. Coming up after the break, it's Chris Herds up against Jarno Bottenberg.
Jarno, you require
For a
40.
9th consecutive victory, tops of Bottenberg.
Game
It's
shot
9
and the
from
match,
9
Jarno
for the
Bottenberg.
Dutchman, and he's 1 game away for creating a slice of Super Series history. For Chris Herds, it was a decent performance, but once again, it's that man who's in the winner's enclosure. Jarno Bottenberg, a 4-2 winner against Chris Herds. Derek Coulson against Simon Tayson is effectively a knockout match, and them two will go toe-to-toe on the other side of this short break.
Derek, you
How things have
require
worked out so far
116.
this week, especially this week when it's your last opportunity to qualify for what is the pinnacle of this brand.
Game shot on the first leg. Derek Coulson.
Well, that is just the 2nd ton topper we've seen today. Coulson pins the 116 to get us
Second
underway.
leg.
There is someone actually here that I would love to see. But I don't think he'd be here if he knew I was here.
Game shot.
An exhibition of the finest finishing for Derek Coulson. The 116 is backed up by the 145, an average of 111.33. He's 2-0 to the good. Through. This to help Coulson's chances of making it through. Double 8. In it goes, and a 4-0 win for Derek Coulson puts him very much in the mix. And now he has to hope for a Jarno Bottenberg win against Sean McKinney in the next to give himself a glimmer of hope ahead of his match against Kendrick Cordom. It means Tayson is out. His game against Chris Hurst at the end of the session is going to be a dead rubber. For Bottenberg, he can make a bit of history and complete the card on both days. Sean McKinney can send himself through if he wins. That game's coming up on the other side of this break.
89. Jarno, you require
Useful dart on the
52.
bullseye.
Double 18.
Game shot on the third
2-1
leg.
Bottenberg.
Jarno
He is
Bottenberg.
halfway now towards history, towards completing the card on consecutive days, and
Fourth
towards
leg. It's
dealing
Sean
a
to go
potentially
first.
fatal
Game
blow.
on.
But for Jarno Bottenberg, 116 points stands between him and perfection. Tops.
Game shot.
And
on the
Bottenberg
match.
is
Jarno
unbeatable in Group C. He becomes just the 4th player in Super Series history to complete the card in consecutive days. 10 from 10.
Derek, you require 8.
In the second half of the session, Coulson hasn't been missing many doubles. And he doesn't miss that double 4. And Derek Coulson is a leg away from qualification. In him back in October. But right now, it is all about Derek Coulson. 72 points away from qualification. Double 12. And this time, Derek Coulson is into the Saturday night. He had to work hard for it, but finally he is there. He gets the better of Kendrick Cordon by 4 legs to 1 to set up a date with Saturday night. And that is what it means to him. He narrowly missed out last time, but with some excellent arrows towards the second half of today's session, he is through. He beats Kendrick Cordon by 4 legs to 1. Our last game is Simon Tayson and Chris Hurst.
No real pressure.
32.
Double 8. And with the hardest match start, he has found the winning dart. And Chris Hurst ends with a 4-2 victory against Simon Tayson, an average of 86.5, 4 from 13 on his doubles. Actually, today he won 3 out of 5, but it was a slow start on Thursday that cost him in the end. Simon Tayson, well, his week ends here. Chris Hurst ends with a win. Jarno Bottenberg and Derek Coulson are the 2 players that are through to tomorrow night's final through this group. And we'll analyse the action after this short break.